Truth to be told, India is clearly ill-prepared to transition into a digital education system right now. It will take us a substantial amount of time in order to move towards the direction. To push for this change with the limited time and resources that we have, which is highly unjust. We need to take a step back and re-evaluate on how to deal with the current situation. Well, now let us connect to Vasireddy Garu, this late school director, just to give us an input to how the online classes are being monitored within the school. Hello, sir.
Hello, ma'am.
Sir, what are the basic challenges and the arrangements you have made for this online class conduction, sir?
Ma'am, basically, the Zoom kind of classes,
Hmm.
they are meant for children of higher age group, college students, university.
Yes, sir.
Because they mostly focus, they center around lecture type classes. This methodology is not suitable for children.
True.
The teacher standing in front of camera, remember, the
Yes.
teacher is also not trained properly for that. The teacher can be camera shy. The teacher is very conscious that parents are observing him or her. And talking about the topic, teaching, going ahead with the teaching. And children will face lots of troubles because, number one, there could be some faults in the transmission. What teacher is teaching may not be audible. And if more than two children unmute and they start asking questions, if they start speaking, there could be a lot of disturbance.
Correct.
And what teacher is showing, indicating, may not be so visible.
Correct.
And children will be generally accessing these classes on mobile phone, so they are exposed to radiation, high amount of radiation. And they are focused on, their eyesight is focused on a small screen, which can cause damage to their brain, to their nascent muscular nervous system, to their eyes. So this is not really suitable for school-going children. I have proposed, and we have gone ahead with the video classes. Videos are prepared well in advance. They are multimedia videos. First we record the voice. Teacher, the script is written in such a way that the teacher is actually teaching. It's not something like a news presenter. The way teacher teaches the class, in that way the script is written, which is read. In fact, I should not say read, which is actually taught. I mean, it's regular class. The voice is recorded. And to that, we add the images, the graphics, the visuals.
Okay.
So the video is ready. And this video is broadcast to the parents through WhatsApp.
Oh my
This enables the parents to allocate time to the children. If there are 3 children in a family, the parent can decide when, at what point of time the child is going to watch the video. It's not necessary that the classes, otherwise the Zoom kind of classes, they're scheduled generally from 9:30 to evening 3 or 3:30. So the parent is out of the house at that time. Parent will not get a chance to monitor the child, and parents have to leave the smartphones or the electronic devices in the hands of children, which can be misused by the children. But now these videos can be broadcast on a bigger screen like television, and the child gets an opportunity to watch them if required 2 times or 3 times. And the child can pause the video. If teacher is telling something, the child can note it down. So in this way, parents get an opportunity to monitor the classes of children. Number 2, children can watch them, understand them in a better way, because it's not just a lecture type class. It is a class wherein the multimedia visuals are used. Okay, now.
Yes,
so
sir.
this is our model. Now, this video was watched by children on day 1. Then the next day, the teacher makes a call on Google Meet to a group of 7 to 8 children. And teacher asks questions. Teacher tries to understand to what extent children have followed, understood what is taught through this video class. And the teacher clarifies the doubts. This Google Meet, because there are just 7 to 8 children, maximum when it comes to 10th class there can be 10 children. This enables enables student-student interaction, teacher-student interaction. In this way, I can confidently tell that we are reaching 75% of our target. In the sense, no, we are able to make an impact on the child to the extent of 75%. But I should confess, I should tell that this is only a stopgap arrangement. These classes can never be a replacement for the physical classes, the regular classes. We're actually waiting for that, maybe September 2nd week or 3rd week, because children coming to the school, they mingling with the peer group, they talking to the teacher. I mean, to start with, they'll feel psychologically liberated. Otherwise, they're stuck to their homes. However, whatever may be the efficiency levels of the teaching, confined to the four walls of the house, surely is having its own negative impact on the children, which cannot be denied.
Okay. So, sir, like generally when teachers are taking these online classes for the first time, so what kind of training and the arrangements for the training you have made for your teachers to present the classes perfectly for the students?
Yes, sir. To start with, in making the videos, we actually started this process sometime in the first week of May.
Okay.
First, we made teachers stand near a blackboard like thing. And we try to shoot what the teacher is teaching. I understood that teachers are not at ease. I mean, they have their own, like, people are camera conscious.
Yes.
So, moreover, the clarity was not coming. There was disturbance, and we can't. I mean, that was lockdown time, and there was no chance to go to professional studios. And this was happening from the houses of different teachers. So we were coordinating only through online. So it was at that point of time that we thought of this, writing a script, getting it checked through some other teacher, then voice recording, then superimposing the graphics, the images, 3D images on that. Okay. So after that, with that it has become very effective. And in the next stage, we have trained teachers to face the Google Meet. We taught them the nuances of using the technology. Some of them are not fully aware of that, how to use, how to talk, how to mute or unmute children, how to observe whether children are talking or not. All these things were taught to them. We have produced videos for this also, and we have shared to teachers, and we have conducted some experimental classes for them. So in this way, they were given training.
That's really great, sir. That's really great. It actually presents your cautiousness at each and every step, and before going ahead with the online classes. Then I just would like to know how students are responding to the online classes, because it's very hard for a teacher to grasp attention of a student in the traditional classroom itself. But whereas to grasp attention of a student through visual classroom is a very difficult task. So I just want to know how teachers are able to handle this.
Yes, ma'am. There are no bad children in this world. There are no bad students.
I agree, sir. I agree.
A student is as good as a teacher. The content and methodology is good, inspiring, motivating. Children enjoy their videos like anything. These days, questions are asked, how can there be an online class for LKG? It all depends. If you feel LKG online education is all about teaching alphabet or numbers, then obviously it is not challenging to them. But what is taught? For example, we have got around 32 Montessori activities, which can be done at home with no extra expenditure by the parents. In fact, children can do on their own. For example, taking the old newspapers, this is for LKG children, to start with. They're asked to, teacher shows this, I mean, this activity is demonstrated. Take the paper, tear it into small pieces, as small as you can. Children love this job because it's a slightly meant for keeping children's activity, their nature in mind. They'll throw the small piece of paper all over the floor. Now, have a basket or a small cup in your hand. Go and pick up one by one, one by one, one by one. So this gives them a better finger grip. This is an activity meant for their fine motor skills, hand coordination, better finger grip. With old newspaper themselves, there are 4 to 5 activities. The next one would be tearing the paper according to a particular pattern. The next one would be folding the paper. The next one would be grain sorting activity. 3 types of grains, say rice, green gram, and red gram, anything. Any 3 types of grains are mixed. Parent job is just to take a handful of 3 grains, put them in a cup, bowl, and give it to the child. Child watches the video, has to pick up rice one by one, keep it in one bowl, green gram, other bowl, black gram, or whatever, red gram, other bowl. So, it is a challenging activity. Children were asked to imitate someone whom they like in their house. My God, you should see the children's response. They were dressed up like their grandfather, grandmother, and their parents were thrilled to see this activity. This improves their observation skills. These type of activities. And the rhymes, stories, children absolutely enjoy them if it is planned in a proper way. The whole thing is, it should be child-centric. School should not turn this into a kind of excuse to collect the fee. Okay, finally schools have to get the income to pay salaries, that is a different question. Just to collect the fee if online education is run, obviously children will not enjoy and there will be aversion from the parents. If the education is child-centric, keeping the child, LKG or class 5 or class 10, whichever subject, if you make it child-centric, if proper methodology is followed, children will absolutely enjoy. I can say that all our parents are extremely happy. Children are enjoying like anything. They are sending whatever activity we are giving to them. They are asked to tell stories. They are asked to recite a rhyme. They are asked to talk about themselves. They are asked to talk about somebody who loves them. They are asked to talk about how they spent time during the lockdown. And higher age group children are given, like the topics are different, like something about the society, something. This way, they are absolutely enjoying. And to tell you frankly, some parents want to continue this even after physically, even if they get the chance to physically go for the school. Because the video classes they are telling, for example, if the lesson is on Subhash Chandra Bose, the class, we don't get the chance. Okay, we got smart classes, we can show, but here simultaneously Subhash Chandra Bose coming, and the Singapore, the Azad Hind Fauj, everything. As the teacher is talking, all these things are coming up. So they are more effective.
That's awesome, sir. That's awesome. Like, once as you're explaining, I just wish I go back to my younger age and attend your classes. Well, talking about the duration of classes, what is per session, sir? Like, how long the session runs and how many hours per each class student has to be on screen for attending classes with you?
Now, screen time is very limited because, for example, pre-primary, this activity. We send not more than 2, maximum 3 videos. Each video doesn't exceed 10 minutes. Not less than 10 minutes. Because this grain sorting activity. Teacher is able to explain in a matter of 4 to 5 minutes. Now after that, they have to do that. That takes time. And children enjoy that. They don't feel drudgery. So the amount of time they're watching it is 30-35 minutes for pre-primary children. 45 minutes for primary children. Surely not more than 1.5 hours for class 10 children. And that is not at one go. We keep repeatedly telling them, for example, for class 10, there is a lesson on weather or blood circulation system. The video will be 25 minutes. We tell children, no need to watch the entire video in one go. Whenever you feel like, okay, you pause it or switch it off, then come back. After some time, you can watch it. No need to continuously watch this video. So, children's screen time doesn't exceed 1.5 hours at the max in the case of higher age group children. Lower age group children, it is much, much lesser, 1/3 of that. But the activities after that, they are engaged. It's not just 1.5 hours.
Okay.
Student is asked to write something on freedom fighter. Depending on the class, subject, mathematics, a concept is taught. And children are asked to develop a model on that or solve a particular problem. This kind of assignments, worksheets. Another for pre-primary children, another 1 hour. For primary children, another 1.5 hour. For high school children, another. So, children are engaged for not more than 2 hours, 2.5 hours in the case of pre-primary, at their will, at their time, not necessarily in a continuous way. Not more than 3 hours for primary, and not more than 4.5 hours maximum in the case of high school. This includes the activities that they are performing, if they are writing an assignment, or if they are recording an elocution competition, some speech of them, that way.
Well, that's great, sir. But here I'm curious to know, like in general, previously we were never in the watch of the parents. But especially now we are under watch. Our classrooms which are sent through a link or else the Zoom meets which our students are attending is everything under the watch of parents because our students are confined to the homes. So here at this regards, what kind of measurements, what kind of care the management is taking to ensure that parents and the student feel online classes are perfect to attend?
We are happy, ma'am. Actually, we feel lucky that parents are getting a chance to watch our quality. We have been doing
Awesome.
Whether parents were watching earlier or not, obviously they were not watching.
Yeah.
We were giving our best. We selected the best teachers. They were trained rigorously, good methodology. So now we are feeling happy that parents are able to see what we are doing. Parents, it's a great experience of the parents. They are in fact, they are thrilled. Oh my God, this much of thing is there. So if you have got something to hide, if there are skeletons in your cupboard, then you will not be transparent. If you got nothing to hide, then you tend to be honest, then you tend to be transparent, I mean. Yes, to some extent, to start with, there was a bit of camera consciousness among the teachers. That has gone after 1 week. In fact, parents are happy at that point of time with all the appreciations from the parents. Now teachers are feeling much more happy.
That's awesome to know. That's awesome to know, sir. So as we were discussing about this assignments to the children to engage them into interaction, may I know one example what kind of assignments are advisable for the students?
Yes, ma'am. Again, it depends on the age and kind of activity. For example, just now I told about the various Montessori, grain sorting activity, water pouring activity, paper tearing activity, these kinds of activities. They are meant for the enhancement of motor skills. Now, the storytelling activity, child is expected to narrate a story, parent is expected to shoot it, either video format or audio format, preferably video format, because we would like children to express there's a tiger, the expressions on the face. Okay, so video format. Then for say class 3, mathematics, worksheets are given, they are expected to solve, not just worksheets. For example, when we are introducing the concept of weight and volume, one of the worksheets given is observe the following in your house and note down the volume or weight of that. For example, shampoo bottle, toothpaste, rice bag, various kinds of things in the kitchen. So what is its weight? 50 grams, 100 grams, 1 kilo, rice bag maybe 100 kilos or 50 kilos or 25 kilos. This way, so we are practically exposed to things around.
Correct.
So this kind of mostly practical worksheets to make it simple, interesting. Otherwise, if it is a drudgery, children feel it's a drudgery, boring, they will not do. And yes, we keep motivating children, but also done more than motivation through the through words. What is required is the activity itself should be motivating enough. This is our plan.
Okay. So like when we are getting into interaction session with the students, like may I know what kind of challenges we face while this interaction sessions, because it's very difficult to ensure that every student is unmuted his or her call and they are interacting. So I just wanted to know how it is possible for an interaction session through online.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. To start with, our Google Meet interaction classes are meant only for 6 children in the case of pre-primary,
Okay.
7 or 8 in the case of primary, maximum 10 in the case of high school. So the number of children are very limited.
Okay.
Okay, this puts extra burden on the teachers. Teacher, for a section of 30 children, teacher has to conduct the class thrice, but we are ready for that because enough strength we got teachers, so we are taking care of that.
That's
Okay,
amazing.
to start with the first 1 week, yes, that not even 1 week, first 3 days, there was trouble. Children were muting, unmuting, and somebody else in the house was speaking. These kinds of troubles were there. Or some other voice, some other disturbance around all this. But teachers got accustomed, children were trained. We have sent a video to all the parents, how to explain each detail. For example, we are sending a video, how to cast it on a bigger screen. If they got a smart TV, how to do. If they got a LED TV, how to do. If they got a laptop, how to do. So how to monitor the Google Meet. In this way, everything was explained to the parents as well as children through video lessons, through practical demonstration. And can I tell you one more thing, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
See, generally, in around 70% of the cases, we got both the children from the family studying in our school. I mean, the younger child is in, say, primary or pre-primary. The elder child is in high school. A typical case. Of course, there are families with 3 or 4 children also. So here now, we have made the elder children teachers. We motivated them, saying that once you do this, we will recognize you as best teachers. Your job is to, you are a teacher, your job is to just monitor and motivate your younger sibling, brother or sister. And they have grabbed this opportunity with great enthusiasm, and they are doing a wonderful job. Because it gives them now a slate teacher kind of feeling. Once the school reopens, we will be giving certificates to them, we will be giving prizes to all our, now we got not just the regular teachers, every senior slater is also a teacher now. So this way also, we have tried to help the parents. And we have also been training parents, telling parents, parents need not sit down and explain everything. That is done by us, the teacher. Some parents are conscious, they over-conscious probably. They want to teach everything. We have been telling, no need to teach. Just ensure that the child is doing what he or she is supposed to do. You need not sit around. You just monitor God. You can be cooking and you can just monitor if the child is doing this or not. So this way, we try to reduce the burden also on the parent. Our activities are so designed that we don't ask to cut the national flags of 30 countries and paste it here. Because that is waste of resources. It's only left to mothers or rather parents and it to the father also. So our activities, children should do. The activities are so designed that children will enjoy them and they will learn something from these activities.
That's awesome, sir. So I just wanted to know what kind of support your management expect from the parents then.
Parents, as I told you, ma'am, just need to broadly monitor the child. I mean, there is a possibility that any child, we have been counseling children against smartphones for the last so many years. But in spite of that, children are children, there is a possibility. So we have been alerting them. See that internet is a dark world. There is lots of damaging things that children can do. So we have been alerting parents, broadly monitor, and feel free to give feedback. Some children may not be interested at times. Some children may not focus enough attention. Tell us, we'll motivate the children. We have been telling, and we have been getting great cooperation from the parents.
That's great. So, sir, like if every student is able to attend online classes, or if there are any drawbacks, if you have observed in your whole school, like they couldn't have access with the internet, or they couldn't have a particular device for children, or they couldn't have enough time to present their devices to the children. So, any drawbacks if you have faced?
Over 99.5% of our children, last year children, and new admissions also, we are going into this program, they're enjoying.
That's
But
awesome.
the 0.5% exceptions, I'll give you the reasons also, unfortunate reasons. Some parents, because of financial difficulties, they have shifted to villages. They are not having the good data connection.
Okay.
And in fact, once our HEADS program has started, they'll come back to cities also just for children's education. But some of them, because of financial difficulties, are still in villages. We have assured them, okay, once the schools start physically, we'll take care of them. So with our permission, with our cooperation, very few of them who are in villages, remote villages, where they don't have access to the internet connection. I mean, where the downloading speed is very, very low, they are out now. And second most unfortunate thing, till now, in our school, 7 parents have died now.
Oh,
So
I'm very sorry about it.
those families, for the 10 days, obviously we cannot focus attention. So they were disturbed. And once, in fact, I visited each house of them. I given free scholarships to all of them, all the children in such a household till 10th class, till they complete the studies. I counseled all the family members. Some of those children, except unfortunately recently 2 incidents happened. Those children are still holding. Other 5 cases, they are back to school.
Very kind heart you have, sir. Like, I appreciate your effort in ensuring every student gets an education equally. I really appreciate you on it.
Thank you. It's not a kind heart, no? It's a moral responsibility. After all, the parents wish that the children should study in our school. And when the father, the breadwinner, is no more, it's a moral, ethical responsibility, I feel.
Well, sir, the need of the hour, it is all to ensure that no child is left behind the education. But whereas these kind of drawbacks are still in the society, where do you think that this virtual classroom will create any kind of imbalances in the education system and the lifestyle of education and uneducated people again, like if the history is being repeated again with this kind of disturbances in the education system, sir?
Yes, ma'am. See, ma'am, whatever is the level of technology, if there is commitment on the part of teaching community, teachers, management, it could be private or government, I should do my best to the children. If that commitment is there, even children in remote villages will also get quality education. But if that commitment is lacking, unfortunately, that is true with at least no significant number of people. So in such a case, children who don't have access to these electronic devices, they may suffer. This is happening. We should not delay. Surely, a kind of digital divide is already observed. So, but this can be overcome. The fault doesn't lie with lack of technology or lack of access to technology. The fault lies with the lack of commitment on the part of the players, that is teachers. I mean, players and the teaching community. I mean, not just teachers, the management, government, these things.
I get it, sir. I get it. So, like as a student, what can be the role of a student and how they must be responsible according to you to attend online classes and to ensure he grasps some knowledge through it? So,
Imagine, let's imagine ourselves in such a situation. You are confined to your home from March. You can't go out. There is always frightening news. You can't mingle with your friends. You can't take a look at your building, school building, your teachers. It's really, really, the worst sufferers are children worldwide, not just ours. In fact, the reality is that this COVID-19 has mostly spared children. I mean, the morbidity and mortality. Infections is, if one person in the household gets infected, children will also get infected. I mean, there's no doubt about it. But the impact, morbidity and mortality, death rate is negligible worldwide. But in spite of this, children have become the worst sufferers. Because now everything is opened up and schools are going to be the last one to open up. Here I don't find fault with parents. Parents love their children and they don't want to take any risk. But take a look from the child's point of view. Child is confined to home. So every child is undergoing a kind of psychological trauma. Teacher should keep this point in mind all the time. The class should be cheering, the activity should be cheering. The child should be made to believe that is actually mingling with the children, with the friends, with the teachers. That kind of care should be taken. If that is not there, if teacher starts scolding children, finding fault with the children, grading children, then it is seriously demotivated. Regular class also should not happen, but cello, in the case of the regular class, regular time, at least it can be understood. The impact will not be that much as it would be now. As such, they are in a kind of a mental trauma. I should not use the word trauma, is a very severe thing. Surely, psychological pressure. So, we as teachers should try to address this problem, assuage these feelings among the children.
Yes, sir. So, very glad talking to you on our show today, sir, and I hope we get connected once again.
Surely, ma'am. Thank you for giving this opportunity.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Well, it is the responsibility of everyone in the education system to innovate and reach every student at their learning level in the most viable them. And this will help us create an equitable ecosystem where every child learns and education become a true fundamental right. Well, this is with me, Vasavi Kaleru, our today's School Scan Drive. Stay tuned to CBR English for the lot more educational updates. Thank you for joining us today.